My film Sallie Gardner at a Gallop 2013 is based on the work of Victorian photographer Eadweard Muybridge, and he was originally employed by a racehorse breeder to determine if a horse at any point of a gallop has all four hoofs in the air. And he developed this camera system along the race course where he took still photographs of a galloping horse, and then these still pictures put together in a row created the first stop motion animation of a galloping horse. And Eadweard Muybridge later experimented with other animals and also people, and there's all kinds of material of his work. My film is created with models from clay horses, and as opposed to classical stop motion animation where you have one figure with many little parts and bendable joints and all that, I made one figure per each stage, per each frame basically. So to work with Muybridge contact sheet I needed 16 horses, and I made 22 actually because I made some mistakes initially. It seems a lot of work, but if you look at big animation studios that have complicated figures, for example, there's a very nice documentary out about the making of Coraline by Studio Leica. You have tons of parts, heads, upper parts of faces, lower parts of faces, and the technique how to make them is very similar, like making it from clay. So I would know how to do it, and actually we work for one person studio, like my work, I work alone. It seems to me the same, if not even less, to make individual figures. And finally I had 16 horses that somewhat represent the stages of Gallop what I needed, and I could create my movie. My original idea for the film was a juxtaposition between 2D and at least seemingly 3D object, and you can see some of it, which is the shadow, the silhouette of the horse galloping. And originally I had planned not to use the raw horse, as you can see it in the second half of the film, but to go further with it, fire these horses, and then take footage in the style of how I take my photographs, but due to technique and making it out of focus and light effects, making it look like it could be an actual live horse galloping over some kind of meadow. That was the plan. But during working on this film, I heard about a juried exhibition in a gallery in Chicago. I sometimes show work with them, and the topic was interface, juried by the artist Jan Tichy, and the topic was art that is connected to technology. And so I thought, okay, I will focus more on really Muybridge movie and keep it very clinical and very geometrical and very simple, really just the silhouette and the actual clay horse in a way that you can see it, not taking it further. This is my most, I would want to say, unemotional piece so far. And usually I work more with psychological topics, sociology a lot, also folklore, mythology, and then again, what does that mean, the underlying psychology of this and that mythology. And this piece, it's really just a shape and motion, different stages of moving, well, lump of clay actually, but horse if you want it, and then the geometry. And I was really happy with it in the end, although, or maybe because I never worked that way, it's definitely a first, and it gave me ideas for more pieces in this style. My very first training was in functional pottery, actually, and I didn't enjoy it, at least eventually not. I was supposed to create series of plates and cups, and I wasn't also very good at it, but what I really wanted to do is figures from clay. And so later I studied contemporary studio arts and other media. I was put in front of this situation. I want to make figures from clay, which I enjoy, and I can do that much better than making cups. And then I don't like to locate them in what would be first-hand decision, the market for it. So I needed to come up with a way to use these figures.
Do you look stupid?